right, always a pleasure to have my next guest on the show, Chris Sarro, and he will compete again at Bkfc 17, April the 30th, in a light heavyweight bout, 205 pounds against Ehsanullah Kakar. Chris, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, not much, man. It's always good seeing you.
Yes, sir. And you're all the way down in Puerto Rico right now, so this camp has been a little bit different, man. Tell me, how has it been thus far?
It's been intense. So this has been like the hardest, most strict camp of my career, amateur or pro. I'm 32, and it's brought me back to like when I was 24 again. Conditioning wise, I got wind for days, but we're doing 3 a days, 6 days a week, and we get 1 day rest. Extremely healthy diet. I live with my coach, so there's no sneaking, nothing. He'll just throw. I'll come home, and all of a sudden the food won't be in the fridge. He'll throw it away, so it's all health food down here. Um, the climate's perfect, especially for a lot of us veterans. We have injuries and stuff that we deal with. It's beautiful. My recovery rate down here compared to back home. And don't get me wrong, I love home. Um, Maine is home, Ellsworth, Maine, 207. But there's something different. Back home, we have the freshest air in the world. That's what I miss. And the air is fresh down here, but something about Maine's crisp, cold, fresh. There's nothing like it in the world to me. And so there's this benefits about being back home. It's tough. It toughens you being back home. Down here, it's kind of an easy way of living. It's hard. It's hard in its own ways, but climate-wise, they got it good down here. 80 with a cool breeze, 365 days out of the year. But no, it's been awesome. This camp's been intense. I have a whole team working behind me. Some of my sparring. I got my buddy Chris Lawrence, who came down with me from Maine. Dude's a beast, and we're getting in some solid rounds with monsters. Then we got my buddy Hector. The dude's got over 200 fights, and he's actually we're working on getting him a fight in BKFC coming up here. He's a dangerous dude. He fought dudes like he beat DeMarcus Corley, chop in the amateurs and stuff like that. So he's a tough dude, 200 pounds right now. So Elvin Brito obviously is number one, 165 pounder in the world in bare knuckle. So I got a solid team behind me. We wake up in the morning, we run La Pica Mountain. It's a 5.2-mile incline going straight up. But I got a whole team of guys, Brandon Lambert down here, guys pushing me. We all push each other. When one falls, the other one picks the other one up, and we keep going. And there's nothing like that, man. When I come out in Birmingham, I like that feeling of a team behind me. I always have that feeling, whether it's one person in my corner or a whole bunch of people. I feel I got everyone, at my backside when I'm walking out, and I'm really going to feel it this time. It's been a strong bond that's been built during this camp, in all ways, man. We push each other to the max. We push each other to the physical max, where like someone's going to die. We go any further. Like every single workout is to the absolute physical max, human capacity. I've done all I can to prepare for this fight, so.
As you and I both know, when you're back home in Maine, we live about like 20, 25 minutes from one another. I think the question that a lot of people that know you from back here in the States is, what made you decide to move your camp to Puerto Rico? And is this something that you're going to be doing moving forward?
Yeah, camp, we got the jungle camp that we're building down here. What it was, I was dealing with some injuries after my last fight, a torn meniscus in my knee, and I have some injuries. We'll just leave it there. And I came down here. I was not healing back home, and given this was during the winter months, which are the roughest times up there, I was not healing back home, and I came down here to help Elvin prepare for his fight with Brad Kelly, Bkfc 16, and I came down here fresh off like a layoff. I was out of shape as in I hadn't been in the gym in a few weeks, and my knee was still stiff on me, and within 2 weeks time I was wind sprinting up the mountain with the guys. There's something about the climate down here agreed with my body, mixed with CBD. CBD does wonders for my actual injuries that I deal with. Shout out Cannabis Group, but for real, they I'm not trying to product drop right now, but Cannabis Group for real. I swear by them because they put a lot of time into their product and it works for guys like me. It's something about the climate down here is just, it works wonders for the body. And you see so many people live past 100 down here out in the garden and eating healthy, and there's something magical in the air down here. Given Maine is my home, I'm not like, that's where I live, that's my family, my son's there, everybody's there. I come down here just for camp. And if anything, it's because I grew up, the first people that I looked up to in the sport were like Marcus Davis, and Garth Crane. My coach I met those guys 14 years ago, and Marcus had just come off his win against Paul Taylor. He had head kicked Marcus, and Marcus ended up coming back with that armbar win. I remember Marcus having to leave usually 6 weeks out to go to City Otong with Mark Delagrade. And I'm just a kid seeing this. But that was me. Like, that's all I knew. I was like, that's what a pro fighter does. He seeks out where the highest level of competition for him. But there's high level competition all over the world, but what works for him. So a mixture of the climate, how it worked with my body, and the bond and how I got along with the people down here, and the level of competition down here, it all agreed with me. And to just fit into that puzzle piece of what I felt, as a professional, how I'm supposed to conduct myself, because that's what I grew up on seeing, was like Marcus having to leave, and we'd show up to the gym and we'd all be wondering, what he's doing, but we all understood. There was not one person's like, the hell with him. Everybody understood that that's what he had to do. And then it was that much more exciting when he came home, especially after a win and things like that. You get to celebrate and you really get to appreciate the love and support. You feel it. I miss everyone being down here, but yeah, Puerto Rico, it's paradise, man, in its own way, for sure.
I think it goes without saying, you still will have Coach Crane and Raz Hilton in your corner. I mean, training on a regular basis. When you're back,
yeah,
those guys will still be with you
forever. It's you can only do so much, so I wish I could have a camp in Puerto Rico with Garth and Raz and Nick Gully and I wish I could do it all, but it's baby steps. This is my first camp real down here, so we're starting off here, but I got my coach's wishes. Garth was completely in agreement with it, and that meant a lot to me. That guy taught me how to throw my first jab, 14 years ago. He's taught me so much about life. His opinion means a lot to me. So he knew this was the right next step. And yeah, man, it's all gravy.
That's good to hear, man. Let's talk about this move down to 205, because anyone that's met you, that stood next to you, realizes you're a monster of a man. So for me to think that you're going all the way down to 205, that's crazy. Like, I can't imagine seeing you at 205. Like, you're going to be unbelievably lean. What went behind the decision for you to do that? Was it?
There's nothing to me, dude. Because that's where I'm optimal. I fought McAllister. I was 204.5. I'm a wrecking machine at that weight. Guys like Lorenzo Hunt, these fighters that hang around that weight, I'm a whole different bone structure. I've stood next to these guys, and I hit so hard at heavyweight, let alone at light heavyweight, which is where I'm supposed to be. Victor Jones was supposed to be at 205. I was in my bathroom. This was like in the heat of COVID, with my homemade sauna, with Garth on the phone talking me through how to towel off the doors and, get the bathtub boiling hot. I was wrapped in comforters on the floor, and I got the phone call to stop cutting weight when I was at like 214 because Victor showed up 230 pounds. So I don't consider that I had two fights at 205, but I was on the drop. I was like a good another 4 hours away from 205, and so we cut right there. And then my fight with Burns was obviously 250 or 248. So I'm optimal at 205, man. I went running. I'm 220 right now, which is perfect because we're putting down like 2.5 gallons of water a day. I went sprinting up this mountain we call the Pica down here, and Alvin Brito, had to keep up with me. I led the way all the way to the top of the mountain. I'm 32 years old, and I'm a lot heavier than these guys. I'm like a good 80-pound clip heavier than these guys, and I sprinted all the way to the top, 5.2 miles. I'm coming in shape, baby.
That's exciting to hear for everyone that supports you. I gotta talk about the loss to Josh Burns, man. I mean, obviously that had to affect you on a number of levels. How have you been able to bounce back from it? What are you learning and taking from it moving forward?
Yeah, well, bounce is the right word because if you watch in slow-mo, it looks like I was down for a long time. I bounced right back up. But no, it was a good shot. It was exactly what I needed because I hadn't taken a loss in 7 years. If I had won that fight, it wouldn't have been good for my career. I needed that. And I took him in the first round. For someone who's only been pro for 2 years, he's been pro since 2002. I'm proud of that. I came out like, listen, I say it every time. One thing I will never do is back down from a fight. And that means from the first second I agree, I'm going to fight this person to the last second when either my hand's getting raised or I'm getting brought out on a stretcher. I'm going to come to fight you. And I stuck true to that. I leave with my shield or leave with that bitch held high. I said that night, and I said it before, and I say it after. So I got nothing to feel bad about. All it was when you're winning, it's really hard for you to go back and hit the drawing board on what you did wrong. You can and you do, but it's hard when you win to sit down and go, this is wrong, this is wrong, because But when you lose, it's very easy. Now you have a blueprint. For 7 years, you had a faint blueprint. Now you have a solid blueprint. You can go back to and go, okay, fuck yes. Oh, excuse my language. You can be like, yes, now we have a layout of everything that we need to do. And so it was a blessing in disguise because I didn't get that hurt. I didn't go to sleep. It was the first time I've ever gone down in my life. I wanted to go out like Jake LaMotta, but we're not all that fortunate. But no, it was just what I needed because I wouldn't have made the changes that I've made if I had won that fight. So
will the rematch with Burns ever happen, or is that something you have just moved on from and you're not too worried about it?
I will cut 3 fingers off my hand for that rematch. I would do anything for that rematch. Yeah, absolutely. I'm focused on Kakar right now. I would do anything to fight that man. Of course. Are you kidding me? I was put on this earth to fight. I was not put on this earth to flip burgers, do nothing else. No offense. I wasn't. I was put on this earth for exactly this. And my only loss in my pro career, you're goddamn right. I'm and I've talked to so many people in the promotion that want to see that happen. But we both, that's a talk for another time. But of course.
Right. Okay. So just to piggyback off of that, obviously Burns, he's not going to be making 205. And with you fighting at 205, I guess the weight doesn't really matter for the rematch because you can fight him at 215, 220, whatever you're optimal at, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whatever they tell me I have to be, I will be to fight him again. We'll just go about it a lot different this time. For that fight, I didn't cut any weight. And one thing I really realized was how much of my conditioning comes from the weight cut. I'm not the kind that just cuts all the weight 3 nights out from the fight. I do an actual weight cut where I'm cutting fat. I start a long ways out, and it's a slow process. And I've done that. I didn't do that in the beginning, but what I've done is I've been an active competitor since 2013, and so going from doing weight cuts, I've done them all different ways. The absolute worst way of doing one I've learned is with my age and for my health, the best way is to space out the cut. I started this cut, if you remember, when I came down to help Elvin for his camp, I posted like a before and after picture. I started that back in the end of February. And so it's been a gradual cut. Same as when I go back to heavyweight, it's going to be a gradual build, like John Jones is building, a gradual build. Not just me. I just ate burgers, bacon, chocolate milk is like, let's go heavyweight, 'cause I'll fight anybody. And that's where good management comes in, and they can be like, hey, Chris, we know you'll fight anybody, but for business and for strategy wise, this fight makes more sense than this one. I'm glad I have that now, because if Nate Shook knows, if he calls me, the answer is yes.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, I got to get your take on this, a fighter's point of view. After that loss from Burns, man, there was a lot of hate, a lot of negativity on social media. I know me, for myself, I actually took the Facebook app right off of my phone, and I only get on it now just like post my interview and whatnot. And
I love it.
I'm not a fighter like you know what I'm saying? So like, people aren't hating on me, but like some shoes who's fighting on pay-per-views in front of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, you're gonna get that hate. How do you deal with that, man? Because
I got bigger balls than all of them, dude. It's the bottom line is a lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. I'll live and die by that, and so my love is so strong. There's always going to be a yin to every yang, and that's the balance to life. If there wasn't all those jerks out there wasting their time hoping for a reaction to get some kind of like level of importance out of their own life, self-esteem issues and all that, we wouldn't have the gratitude of a win. You know how good it feels when I win? And I can just laugh at because I don't even, I know what they're thinking. They know that they'll never have the courage to one, even put their body through the torture that we put through as athletes, make the walk out there, good or bad. It's all entertainment at the end of the day. That's what these people don't understand. That is, I enjoy it because it's showing me like, success. We're entertaining, they're all numbers to me. My love, the people that love me, my support, those are people. The rest of them, all the hate and stuff, those are just numbers in my bank account, and numbers, they add to the entertainment factor. We need them. And when you can see it that way, it's very easy. It's very hard to offend me, because what can you say about me? Like it's all been said, it's like that 8 Mile movie. I put it all out there. There's nothing, but it's all part of the entertainment industry. You need that. If it was all just good, it wouldn't be entertainment. You need the bad with it. And so they help keep me employed. All those trolls. Sometimes I have fun with it, but I don't want people to get that confused with that. They're actually affecting me. I literally have, when I choose to interact, I'm having fun. It's entertaining for me. I'm not sitting here bothered by it. I choose select times, usually bathroom after the morning breakfast. That's when I'll give them time to entertain them. But no, man, it's all good. You're in the business. You need all that. You need that balance to keep the jobs rolling.
Yes, sir. Well said. Let's talk about Bkfc 17, man. You're going to be in Birmingham, Alabama. Who will be in your corner come fight night?
We're going to have Elvin Brito and Cesar Gonzalez in my corner.
All right. Yeah. As far as like the fans
and Randy Sinclair, always. Randy's in my corner from beginning to end. Jake's father, my best friend who passed, who dedicate my whole career to. He's there every night. I know he's proud looking down, and every time I knock these guys down, it feels good. But yeah, I'm gonna have all of them in my corner. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, well said. How many people will be in attendance come fight night? I mean, is it still going to be restrictive because of COVID and all that?
I don't have an answer for that. I'm not sure. I know it's going to be a good turnout. If I've heard correctly, they're sold out already. I'm not 100%.
All right. And your opponent, man, he's 1-1 in MMA. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this might be his debut as far as Bkfc goes. When you look at his skill set, how do you like this matchup?
Oh, he's a very respectful opponent. We're not taking him lightly, take him very seriously, like I do every opponent. He seems to be very powerful, explosive, good hooks, things like that. There's not much on him, but what we do know about him and what I have seen, and everything that going on in my camp, man, I don't know. This is going to be the best performance of my life. There's nothing about him that worries me. There's not one, nothing about him that I don't that I don't think I can't deal with, that I haven't dealt with in the past. There's nothing about him that intimidates me. There's not one part of him that's going to make me walk out there any slower or any less confident in my ability. So there's not one part of my opponent that makes me doubt that I'm going to leave that arena without a medal. It's
Did I
going to
hear
be a good night.
this is going to be the best performance of your life? Is that what you said?
100%. Oh, without a doubt. I've never been in this kind of shape ever, and I'm sparring with real dangerous people down here, man. And I'm sharp. You know, I'm going to the gym at night with things on my list that I want to launch, be able to slip and counter, and things I want to work on, and I'm nailing them first try, full speed on high level competition. That tells me that I'm in tune. I'm tuned up right now.
Now, the main event of this card is Josh Burns. He's fighting Dylan Klecker. Give me your prediction as to what happens there. And do you feel like running into Josh, you know, prior to the fight might amp you up a little bit more or change like your focus?
No, I've already been around him a handful of times. It's all mutual. I know myself where if you know, if it's going to be on, it's going to be on at any time, place. You know me. You know how I am. But I'm not. We're both there. This is the thing, and I've always said it. I'm a professional. You know, I have people that look up to me, have kids that look up to me. You know, there comes a time and place you have to put personal beliefs and feelings aside, and you have to take into consideration this is a short window in our life that we get to do this, and we have a major platform and a lot of people looking up to us, and it's the fastest growing sport in combat sports right now. And I know in particular back home in Ellsworth, I've been walking into Walmart and I've had kids run up and give me hugs and get pictures with me and stuff and tell me that I'm their hero, and their parents tell me that. That to me, when I go out on TV, I got to take into consideration, as intense as I get, and I get intense. I have this community, these people, you know, their children looking up to me, and no matter what, that means something to me, you know, and so I can put personal, you know, feelings aside. Don't get me wrong, I'm down to go at the drop of a dime. It's like, just don't test me, don't put me in a corner, and we're good. And you know, he's a professional also. He's got a family also, so it's like I'm sure it's the same idea. We're all fighters. We're not going to back down from one another, you know. But we're not going out of our way to start nothing. But my brain's not even on that, man. I don't spend any time there. I get that it's a curious topic, but you probably know enough about me. I'm pretty focused right now, and as a tool of Kakar, you know, and man, I can't wait to get in there. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait. And when I'm like this, that's when you know it's going to be a good fight. Like, guaranteed, I'm coming flying out there, man. It's not going to go like he thinks it's going to go.
Last question for me. Next fight after this one, I mean, are you anticipating on being on the following Bkfc card? Like, are you looking time frame June, July? Like, when can your fans expect to see you back after this fight?
We're ready to go, man. Come I walk away injury free from this fight. I've yet to even get a swollen knuckle in one bare knuckle fight. That's insane. For someone with 11 breaks in my hands and 2 steel rods, maybe it's the steel rods, I've yet to break my hand once in bare knuckle in BKFC. So if I walk away injury free from this, we're looking to get right back in there, man. But I am coming home for everyone back in Maine. When this fight's over, baby, I'm coming home. I'm eating steak. Whoo! Spending time with my baby boy. He just turned 9 not long ago. And gonna spend time with my family and go to Sand Beach and Bar Harbor and get some lobster. And it's gonna be good. But no time to celebrate because we got work to do. And I'm strict about that shit. Everyone around me in Canton knows what's up. I'm an asshole. Excuse my, I'm sorry for swearing, man. I am. But
it's
all good.
Pleasure to talk to you again. Chris Golden Glove Sarro will be facing Ehsanullah Kakar on April the 30th at Bkfc 17 in a light heavyweight bout. Before I let you go, man, tell everyone where they can find you on social media. I know you have plenty of people that support you, so go ahead. The floor is yours. Give thanks to everyone out there.
Thank you for tuning in. Ryan, it's always a pleasure. You're a good friend of mine, and you are such a true professional. I love being on your shows. I was, by the way, I was extremely exhausted when you called earlier. I'd just gotten in from pad work down at the courts, and I was sweating, took a shower, and I knew I was going to get amped up during your interview because your questions were just going to bring out, they weren't going to be dull. They were going to wake me up and get me thinking and get me amped up. So thank you. I appreciate what you do. And so, yeah, no, you can find me at Chris Golden Gloves. We just hit 33,000 followers on Instagram and climbing fast. Please come follow me. My Instagram, my story, that's where you can find all like the behind the scenes stuff that you don't get on through my Facebook or my even my TikTok. You can see all the good stuff. Like my friends down here end up getting mad at me. Take that down. I like to show everything, the whole walk of life. So if you want to see, a day in the life of a bare knuckle boxer, follow me at Chris Golden Gloves on Instagram, Facebook at Chris Golden Gloves, and let me give a shout out to my sponsors. Now, given all of my sponsors or who make this possible, make this whole journey possible, and make it so I'm able to be strong, healthy, and entertain you guys with high-level competition, and so I want to give a shout out to I love all of you people: Patriot Homes, Richard Zareen, Main Man Flavors, Tony Murray's Fairway Auto, Sonatech, Luigi Del Conte sauces, which are on the way to Puerto Rico, and I'm not going to be able to eat much of them, but still I'm excited. We're going to make a nice video for them. Bring It Bait Inc. Ben Durkee, Rev Gear, Mike Stone has been there since day one, since I signed with Bkfc, and they've been a massive contribution, always making sure I'm geared up for every fight with whatever I need. I appreciate you guys very much. EMS Irrigation and Mold Specialist, 3 Point Stance, Mike DeVita, Kansas City Chiefs alumni. He's also just a great friend of mine, someone who I go to quite often, especially dealing with, issues in the life of being a professional athlete. I'll reside to Mike, he's got great feedback, being he was in the NFL for as many years as he was. He's a good friend, and he's helped this journey a lot. So Right, which I actually have sitting right here. So Right, it has been a blessing in disguise. I use that. It basically gets every knot that a human fist or hand can't get to, reaches your psoas muscle. It's an amazing device, but I swear by it, and I have to use it every day because I'm getting old, and we need things like that. Rudeware, Soul Masonry, L&L Transportation, Elena, Chris, thank you for everything. Coastal Welding, and Sinclair Builders, Randy Sinclair, Jake Sinclair, for life. Fight for you guys. Randy will be in my corner, and that's it, man.